What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Morning Brew podcast. I about said charged up. Sarita, special guest on the Charged Up podcast. What's going on, everyone? Good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
Just going to do a quick sound check real quick until I get completely comfortable with all the settings because we've had too many mishaps. So I just want
to TGIS.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Good morning, everyone. If you didn't notice, which is pretty impossible not to, we now have the 2 cameras set up and we are streaming in 1080p HD. So for those of you that have been true to the show and you tune in every time we go live, we're going to keep on making these upgrades and we're going to do everything we can to make it a better show. As you guys see across the bottom, I haven't talked about it in a while. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, it's $30 a month. Just let me know if you want to be a sponsor for the Charged Up podcast or the Morning Brew podcast. We'll throw your logo up on here somewhere and we will do an ad read for your company, whatever you would like that to be.
Basically, we'll talk about you.
Yeah, we'll talk about you. We'll bring you up in the conversation and talk about you, what you offer. So let us know in the comments what you're doing this morning. If you're drinking coffee, if you're drinking tea, let us know where you went, what you're drinking, where you're going. If you're just at home chilling, listening to the podcast. Sarita showed up late. If you guys are wondering why we got a little late start, she said she is on mom time today.
I brought the talent.
Yeah, you brought the talent, she said. She always brings the talent. That's what she said in the comments.
Also, tell us what your favorite drink from Starbucks is. Shout out to Starbucks. We're at Starbucks.
My favorite drink from Starbucks is probably, I gotta remember what it's called.
My favorite drink. I don't remember it.
Oh, well, see, it's a hard one because I haven't ordered it in a while. I haven't went to Starbucks in a while. It was a white macchiato. I want to say a white macchiato with sweet cream foam and extra caramel drizzle.
Who told you about that?
I seen it on TikTok.
I was just about to say,
yeah,
you saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know if I seen it on TikTok or my cousin Ashley told me about it. I don't remember. I don't know. What's yours?
I'm pretty basic.
At least you said it.
I got a caramel. No, this one is actually a lavender latte with oat milk.
Oh,
I love lavender.
What's supposed to do? Relieve some stress, relax you, because I know that's what they use lavender for a lot of times.
That's what they say.
To like a stress reliever.
I'm growing I'm doing all my plants from seeds this year, and I'm growing a ton of lavender. So hopefully between my coffee and my plants, I'll be very zen.
Yeah. I've noticed myself doing that more as I get older, just trying to do more stuff that brings me peace and relaxes me. Like I went out and got my first plant the other day.
Your first plant?
Yeah.
Oh, can we do like sound effects? Can we do a round of applause?
You can do it. I don't know how to add them on here, though. Like these are like sound pads. But for some reason we can't hear.
There's no sound.
We're still getting that worked out. We're still getting the technical things worked out.
Your first plant, what kind of plant is it?
It is a ZZ plant.
Oh.
Well, I asked people what would be the best plants to start off with for indoors. And that's what they recommended, those plothos and snake plants. And I like the way the ZZ
Shut up. You just read my Facebook post today.
No, I didn't.
It's literally the 3 plant. My Facebook post on my business, Instagram and Facebook is about low maintenance indoor plants, and it's recommends snake plant.
I swear. I was a little late on that because I had to go to Facebook and ask them. And I got all kinds of recommendations, and those were the 3 main ones.
Well, I'm not late. It was a scheduled post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I was before you.
A scheduled post. That's fancy. I've never scheduled a post, but I went out and I looked at all 3 of them, and I like the way that the ZZ plants look the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Snake plant's kind of dope, though.
They just look too common. I feel like I see those all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I seen them all. Well, I didn't know where they were, so I didn't realize I was seeing them all the time until I realized that's what they were. So first thing that I wanted to show you today, that I came across. Okay, and just pull your microphone a little more to you because you are a little. There you go. There you. Oh shit.
What's wrong?
You might just have to make sure that the leg is like in lined up with the mic there. Yeah, just try to turn that. There you go.
And then do this. And then my headphones fell off. All right, we're good.
Good.
We're good. All right, let's see these videos you got.
Still trying to get it figured out, y'all. All right, so this one is. I mean, I have a video for it, but I don't have it. No,
oh my
I don't have a
gosh, I
video.
can't watch this stuff, Trey.
Okay, so there's not a video.
Okay.
I was just going to tell you about it. Indianapolis mother walks free after admitting to smothering her 2-month-old baby to death while high on meth.
Bro,
what do you think about that?
Get rid of her. Get rid of her.
They said she was facing 20 to 40 years in prison. And the judge tried to say, so first of all, she admitted to smothering the baby to death. Okay. But she was high on meth. So that is why the judge found her not guilty, because he said that the what the fuck is it that charges people? Why can I not find the word? The prosecution team.
Mm-hmm.
He said the prosecution team did not present enough evidence to say that she had intended on killing the baby. So pretty much what he's saying is she was high and didn't know what she was doing. So that wasn't her intentions. It was just because she was high on meth.
Okay, so I'm not an attorney. I don't know legal anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a lot of cases people are either intoxicated or high when they do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we make that excuse for everybody, then
they're just gonna get high if they want to do it.
Yeah, just say you were high. I mean, or just get high. I mean,
it's caused a lot of stuff like they're trying to get that judge to step down now, because I mean that's just ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah, I've said it a million times, man. In a lot of these cases, it's like you got to stop going by the book so much and just use some common sense. She was high on meth and admitted to smothering her 2-month-old baby. There's no reason why she should ever be out of prison.
Ever.
That's ridiculous.
Like, and I don't know. The stuff with kids is so triggering to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
Well, that's why I added it, because as soon as I seen it, and you just see her in court, and she's just so relieved because he announces the not guilty verdict, and she's so relieved. And it's like, if I did something like that, I wouldn't even want to be out. You know, I would want to pay.
I feel like the guilt would be so heavy.
The fact that she's relieved that she's not going to prison after what she did just shows me that it wasn't a high mentality that she had, because she's still okay with what she did.
Yeah, like you didn't rob someone, you didn't like steal, you didn't, like crash a car. You killed your baby.
2-month-old baby.
It's crazy.
When they interviewed her about it, she said that she was high on meth and she just wanted to get some sleep, and the baby wouldn't stop crying. So she smothered it in between the couch cushions.
Dude, it's crazy.
The fact that she admitted to doing it and the judge still said that the prosecution team didn't present enough evidence to show that she intended on doing it is crazy to me.
Yeah, like, okay, so it wasn't premeditated. We've established that. But she still did it.
Yeah, she still did it.
He still killed a baby.
That's the thing, though. Like, okay, you were so high you didn't know what you were doing. You chose to do meth around your 2-month-old baby.
Right.
So then whatever happens after that, you chose to be in that position. You know?
Where was this? Do you know?
It was in Indianapolis. Yeah, Indianapolis.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I had it on there. Yeah, Indianapolis. That's wild. But yeah, they're trying to get the police department has came out about it and everything, and the community has came out about it, and they're just, I mean, it's triggering, like you said.
Yeah, I can't imagine there aren't thousands and thousands of people who are not just absolutely irate.
Yeah, there are a lot of people over there that did get triggered about it, and they're trying to not only get the judge to step down, but they're trying to do something somehow to figure out a way to actually get her in prison. But it's like, I don't know how they do that with the whole double jeopardy thing, with you not being able to be tried for something that you are already found guilty or not guilty of. So I don't know how they would go about doing that.
Find a different way to charge her with a different thing.
Because that's something. It's like, there's no reason why she should be out on the streets, man.
Wow. Like, addiction is like, it touches everybody. That aside, you killed a baby.
Yeah. And like, just the way that when he read and I wish I had kept the video, but I didn't. When he read the not guilty verdict, just the relief on her is what really got me, because it's like that tells me that you don't really have remorse for it, because you shouldn't want to be free after you did something like that. You should feel real guilty.
Wait, so she didn't go to prison? Like nothing?
Nothing.
Wait, nothing.
Free.
I just thought maybe like she wasn't convicted of like murder.
No,
but
she was found not guilty. So, and that was
on all charges.
Yeah.
And this
she walked free that day.
I missed that part.
She walked free that day after facing 20 to 40 years to life in prison. She walked free that day because the judge said that they didn't provide enough evidence to.
See, this is the type of stuff I like watching on court TV. I love watching court TV. Like, I want to hear the testimonies. I want to see the evidence that's being presented. Like, I need to know more, because this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And I mean, that story a while back where the guy shot his kids in the front yard. I just don't understand that stuff.
Shot his kids in the front yard. What are you watching?
No, it was like these news articles like we talked about on another podcast. Like, dude took his kids out in the front yard and like lined them up and shot him. One tried to run away. He chased it down, brought it back, shot him, and then tried to shoot his wife. She ended up living though.
People are just so unwell.
And then the cops show up and he's just sitting on the front porch like nothing happened, with his kids dead in the front yard, smoking a cigarette, whatever. Man, it's wild. It's wild.
Did you? We talked. I asked you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Would you?
You watched that Netflix documentary, The Murdaugh Family Murders, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
That was wild. You think he did it? You think he killed him?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I think he did too.
Too much money and power makes people do like just crazy things. Yeah.
Dylan said at some point she wasn't high. She chose to be high and killed her kid. Yeah.
Totally agree, Dylan. And good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Dylan. And you gotta realize that as the judge too. Like you know what might happen if you do these hard drugs. You know they're mind altering drugs. So if you chose to do that and then you ended up doing something crazy like killing your kid, you should deal with the repercussions of that. You know, so
I watched this. Anyway, okay, then I'm gonna go down a different direction. All right, let's keep going.
Did you watch that Love Is Blind on Netflix? Have you watched that?
Love it.
Oh my God, that shit is so cringy.
What? Well, okay, yeah, it is. That's what makes it good trash TV.
Yes, like I watch it. Me and Magali watch it all the time now. We're on like season 3 now.
I've watched them all.
We're on season 3. And like when we first put it on, I was like, man, this shit's corny as fuck. Like they're all like goofy, like super awkward, super like just cringe. Like I said,
feel like the second season was like the drama with like Mark and
That's
and then
my favorite one.
Barnett and the other girl.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite one.
That was my favorite one
so far, but I'm only on season 3. But that but then I kept watching. It was like, man, it's just so awkward and cringy that it just keeps on making me want to watch to see how much more cringy and awkward it's gonna get.
Yeah.
But there is some like love triangles in there that does get juicy though. It is a juicy show.
It's a juicy show, man.
Francis
Hernandez Polito. That's my mom.
That's why I'll let you say it.
Shout out to my mommy. Love you.
Thanks for joining in the chat, man. Glad to have Sarita on here with me on Fridays. It's always a good time. Sadly, not enough is done to protect children from abuse and neglect. Let's hope the family pushes a wrongful death charge on her. Yeah, that's...
So my mom worked in Marion County Children's Services for almost 30 years.
Okay.
So she has a very specific perspective.
Oh, yeah.
And experiencing like, you know, what it is to be on intake when you go, you get the call that there's an issue and you go and it's just absolutely like deplorable conditions and kids. I mean, just crazy stuff.
Yeah. And it looks like a lot of times like it gets too far before something's actually done. Because I mean, like the video that I showed a while ago on the podcast where the cops walk into the house and there's like a kid laying on the floor with a soiled bed and she ain't ate or nothing like that. She's been locked in this room. Like, I think like a lot of times that, like she said, there's not enough done to protect the kids because it seems like a lot of times when you see the stuff come out, it's like, it's already got to a point where it's just like,
and I think
so bad
because, you know, there's a lot of different experiences people have with CPS.
Yeah.
And you hear about the cases that fall through the cracks, but then you also hear people, tell you that they'll come and take your kids for stuff that
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
see,
mean?
yeah.
So you get this vast array of different stories about
Yeah.
people. But what I do know, just from being a child of somebody who worked in the child protective services system, is that legislation is really for parents and children being reunited.
Right.
And so it's really hard for CPS to get to a point where they can prove to a judge or magistrate or whomever that the child does need to be removed from the home. Like parents have rights.
Right.
And so I just feel for the people that are working in CPS and trying to prove that the conditions are as bad as they are, that there is abuse and neglect happening, especially when children don't feel safe to come out and admit that this is going on. I mean, it's such a complex web that's woven to try to navigate that.
Yeah, that would get tough because I know that I've heard parents say that it's to a point where they're afraid to whoop their kids because they don't want to get convicted of child abuse or something like that, or get their kids taken away. So that is like that thin line where they have to be careful between abuse and just discipline,
And I don't think
tough.
we're all on the same page about what's abuse. And
everybody
what's
has
discipline.
different beliefs. Everybody has different beliefs, especially if you come from a different kind of family. Every family has different beliefs depending on how you was raised or what you think is more effective.
Yeah.
There was one show though where I can't remember what the name of the show was, but somebody in the chat might know. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. This kid was having like these pains all throughout her body, and I don't remember what the diagnosis was, but the mom took her to get an experimental treatment to see, because they tried everything and nothing was working, and this kid was just in constant pain. So they went to this doctor that was doing experimental treatments, and he gave her something, I forget what it was called, and it got rid of the pain completely. I think it was ketamine. It got rid of the pain completely.
Isn't that like a hardcore drug?
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with it, but I want to say it was ketamine, and they put her in like a self-induced coma. And then when they brought her out of it, like all of her pain was gone and everything like that. Well, her pain came back. So they took her to a hospital at an emergency room because it came back and it was like a lot harder, like a lot stronger this time. They took her to a hospital, and one of the nurses in there reported that she was taking the ketamine as a treatment. And they ended up taking her kid from her, and it was like years and years, and they wouldn't even let her come see her kid in the hospital or anything like that. So the mom ended up going home and hanging herself in the garage.
What?
Yeah. Ended up going home and hanging herself in the garage because they wouldn't even let her see her kid.
Yep.
Saving Maya. That's
Told
what it
you.
was. Yeah.
She'll know.
That's what it was. Saving Maya. I believe it's a documentary so crazy and a sad case out of Florida. Yeah, that was wild. She went home and hung herself in the garage because they wouldn't even let her come see her, like visit her in the hospital.
Wow.
Like she was in the hospital. I mean, imagine your kid being in the hospital and they won't even let you come see.
Can't imagine it.
Yeah.
I'm crazy about my kids. Like crazy about my kids.
Yeah. Cause you get in that predicament where it's like, if I run up in here, I'm only gonna be able to get so far, and then I'm really not gonna be able to ever see her again. Right. But at the same time, I'm not just gonna not see my kid when they're in the hospital sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was crazy.
It would, I think, for especially a mom who's like really trying, like one of the things as a parent, you literally, your brain can't tolerate your kids like being in pain or needing you, and this hopelessness around.
Oh yeah.
Your children. So I just can't imagine. Like that would probably be enough to make me contemplate something like that too.
Yeah, because when they're the younger age, I would imagine being a parent, the first thing going through your mind is they probably think I abandoned them.
Yeah. What if they need me? What if they're scared? What if someone is hurting them?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that documentary, I don't even know if that's still on Netflix, but go back and watch that if you can.
I can't.
Like they were why?
Like anytime it has to do with kids, man, it messes me up.
Yeah. It was messed up. Like, and I can't remember who was like wrong in the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure like they had a really good case, and they just, and the people that kept the kid from her just kept on like filing appeals and setting it back and back. I don't know if anything ever came out of it, but yeah, it's wild. So, do you ever shop at Target?
Yes.
Do you love
Honestly,
Target?
no, I don't love Target.
Why not?
It's too expensive.
Target? I
Yes.
thought Target was like a more budget friendly kind of place, like a Walmart.
Okay, so groceries there are expensive as hell.
Oh, I've never got groceries there.
But I'm an Aldi girl, so
I know. I know.
Trey sees me once a week. But I do like I mean I like their clothes, I like their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you ask me that?
I think they got a good quality of clothes and stuff for the price.
Target, they have Starbucks in front. We like that.
Yeah, I just think of their $5 shelves and stuff that they got.
Never seen them.
Never seen them.
I must be in the wrong section.
Oh yeah. Talk about cracks in the system. Medical staff, social workers, and CPS missed so much. The judge was also so one-sided. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that had to do with just them not knowing. Like they just because like when I told you ketamine, your instant reaction was, isn't that like a hard drug?
Yeah,
I think that's where their mind went with it. But it was actually like I forget how they explained it, but it actually like countered the effect of her pain.
But if you knew like, and I don't know, because I'm just kind of getting this from you. If she presented the case that like my daughter's in a trial to like a clinical trial or whatever it kind of sounded like, I don't know if that was exactly what it was, but it sounded like she was in this therapeutic experiment to see if we could take care of this for her, then like wouldn't you look into that? Wouldn't you contact the doctor? Wouldn't you do your due diligence to
the doctor confirmed with them that she was doing those treatments through him, but I guess the hospital that they took her to when the pain came back, they didn't agree with that method.
Oh,
so they looked at it as abuse.
Yeah.
With medications or something like that. It was wild.
Which like I could definitely see the concern. Have you watched oh my gosh, it's on Netflix. It's that I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but it shows there was more than one story, but one of the main stories was about this guy who had this body shop and he gets hurt, like a car falls on him or something.
Damn.
No, it is on Netflix. It's Painkillers, I think is what it's called.
I've seen it. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's so good. You gotta watch it.
People like getting addicted to painkillers.
You gotta how big pharma like really took advantage of people who just needed help and relief from their pain, and how it and like, oh, it's so good. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, see, for the longest time, I was super against anything like that. Like, but I just had only ever seen one perspective of it. It was like if anybody was hooked on drugs, it was like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Like you ain't doing nothing with your life. Like you chose to sit here and do these drugs and all this and that. And then somebody was like, and then somebody brought it to me and they were like, well, there are a lot of cases actually where people will have like injuries with related to sports or
work.
Just work related injuries, and they'll get prescribed like Percocets or Vicodins, and they'll start taking them for the pain initially, and then they'll become hooked on them after all the pain's gone and everything, because you do start withdrawing and feeling those sick symptoms.
A chemical like dependency.
Yeah, so that's
what it talked about. It talked about like these pharmaceutical manufacturers knowing how powerful these drugs were.
Oh yeah,
and not being truthful to doctors about it, not being truthful to the consumer about it, still pushing them, and then
they know that's the best way to get people coming back for it.
Yeah,
that's why we have so many of these artificial ingredients in our food, because they're addictive chemicals.
I think sugar is like the most addictive thing that we consume. Like I think there was like I went to this presentation. It was at Harding High School. It was a few years ago. It was with a doctor in the psychology department from Ohio State. If you're watching and you went to it or you know about it, chime in because I'm gonna forget a lot of it. But he talked about how like it was such a good educational presentation about how addiction actually affects the brain, and that like when people are in addiction, you're expecting rational behavior from people who are just not in a place to be rational.
No, not being rational at all.
And how dependent your brain becomes. And then he drew the comparison between like sugar and I don't know if it was cocaine, I don't know if it was crack, it was one of those drugs, and like how insanely similar the effect on your brain and your body is.
I'll attest to that. Sugar is super addictive. Like, especially now that I got older, like I get a sweet tooth like crazy.
You need it. Man. You think like, I know I have to have this right now.
And I mean, like, fruit just doesn't hit the same as like a cupcake or some chocolate chip cookies or something like that. Fruit don't hit the same, man. It doesn't. It's not the same thing. I don't know, but yeah, I can see how he would draw that comparison to cocaine, because never did cocaine, but I know sugar.
Can you see? Can you see?
I know sugar is super addictive though. The medical system is messed up and Big Pharma wants the money. The only way to get the subscription is to put them on pain medication. Extremely sad.
Yeah, that's Dylan. That's exactly what this documentary was about. It was so good. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, it's wild. And I mean, they're just big drug dealers. I mean, literally, because I mean, that's what that's what local drug dealers do now. That's why they started putting that little bit of fentanyl and everything. They started lacing a little bit of everything with fentanyl in it, because they know how addictive it is. And that's why people start dying though, because they don't realize it's laced with fentanyl, and they're taking too much of the drugs because they don't know. But that's why they're lacing everything with fentanyl, because they realize how addictive it is, and they want them to keep coming back and buying drugs from them.
I don't know what the solution is.
That's exactly what Big Pharma is doing with these pain pills.
Agreed.
So it's wild. So you go to Target. We established that.
Yes.
What do you know? Besides, you don't get groceries there, right?
No.
Okay. So what do you get? Like decor or clothes?
Clothes. Stuff. Hair stuff.
Okay. So next time you're in Target, be careful, because there was a guy who was an elementary school volunteer in Greenville, North Carolina, and he was caught on camera in Target putting his phone under a woman's dress. You seen it?
Yes, I saw that on TikTok.
You see that? That's crazy. Watch this shit. He was like
coming up behind her.
Yeah, he tried to play it off too, and it's like, nah, we was watching you the whole.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress.
Don't try to act like you was looking at something.
Absolutely, you did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't. I promise.
Then show me your phone.
Get away from me. Yes.
No, we're gonna call security.
No, I really.
You absolutely did, and you were following me over in the children's section.
Because I have a sister who's pregnant, ma'am. I really wasn't.
You've been extremely close to me this whole time. Just show me your phone.
No,
I really don't.
Let's get security, because this is absolutely wrong.
I really don't.
Have it on video. You are not going to get away with anything.
Ma'am,
You can say ma'am all you want, but we will let them decide.
I'm scared to death.
I really promise I wasn't trying to do anything inappropriate.
I
wasn't. I really wasn't. I'm not like that.
Obviously you are. I literally have it on video.
Ma'am, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I know it might have seemed that way in like the video.
No, it's okay. Listen to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what killed me about it. He was like, I know it might have seemed that way on video. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What? Okay, so if it wasn't that, then explain to me what the point was in you sticking your phone under a dress.
Doesn't it like? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah. It's never. I don't know if it's ever happened to me. I don't think it ever has. But
somebody was looking out for that girl, because that girl had no idea what was happening.
I feel like, and maybe it's just my personality, but when people are in my space, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was close as hell to her. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong.
Spidey senses.
She shouldn't have known. Like, she did nothing wrong. Yeah. She did absolutely nothing wrong.
Oh, no.
But I'm like, how long has that guy been doing that? First of all, that he's that comfortable getting that close to somebody he doesn't know, sticking his phone under her. Like, what?
You gotta have nerves of steel to do some shit like that. And I mean, like I said, luckily this lady was recording him, because the other girl didn't even.
She had no clue. Where's Amy at? See, because he don't even know. There's women out here trying to there's women out here with guns in their purse.
So it's like, how many?
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, how many pictures does he have in his phone where he was doing that? And what makes it even worse is he's a volunteer at an elementary school. You know. So he's a fucking creep.
What a little perv.
He's a fucking creep, and that's and he gonna bend all the way down and act like he was looking at something on the bottom shelf just so he can put his phone under a dress. That's wild.
Insane. I would probably go to jail on a day like that.
Yeah, what would you do if you turned around and you seen him doing that in Target?
I mean,
Uppercut.
I hope we ain't in the canned food section because your eye gonna be busted open with one of these cans. That is crazy.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
It's wild, man. And it just really makes you open your eyes to the kind of shit that's going on out there that you might not even never know is happening to you. Because I mean, he was smooth with it too. Like he definitely probably would have got away with it if the one lady wasn't watching it.
And it's stuff like that that like makes me feel like, no, I'm not being extra when somebody makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like what did they do? I don't know. They just made me feel uncomfortable. Like it's stuff like that that justifies women being like, I feel like this guy's following me. Like I'm gonna cause a scene, and maybe he wasn't, but I just when you see things like that and you're out, I don't know. It just
something to let him know, like, hey, go the other way, bro.
Crazy.
Go the other way, man. Because you can just feel what kind of people are. What did he say? He would have gotten the key through his throat. Damn.
Wow.
Straight through the jugular.
Dylan's on the Matrix this morning.
But you can just feel somebody like with bad intentions sometimes, like their energy.
Yeah,
like,
the energy.
You're up to something, bro.
100%. 100%.
And he was doing way too much.
100%.
So I wanted to ask you, if you and your girl started a podcast, what would the main topic of conversation be?
Oh, this is so easy. I just had a friend. I just had a conversation yesterday with my girl, JC. Shout out to JC. So do you remember I did female like a couple years ago? Remember that?
Yeah, the audio one.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back. Back like we never left.
We were talking yesterday, and I think like the general overarching topic would definitely be like motherhood, women, life, that sort of thing. But we were talking about relationships yesterday. Like as you go through the seasons of your life, the way that you show up in your relationships looks different.
Yeah.
And like, not to feel guilty if you feel like you're the flaky friend right now. But yeah, that's what it would be about.
Oh yeah, I'm the flaky friend a lot of times because sometimes when I'm talking to people, it sounds good in the moment.
Yes, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, but then when it actually comes time, it's like, man, this shit sounds so exhausting.
Yep,
I don't even want to.
Can't do it. And I usually make plans for my Friday on like that Monday. And I'm feeling really good about the weekend by Monday, but by Friday, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I ain't got nothing left.
I just want to sit by myself in silence.
Man, I need a minute.
All right. So what were the topics that you said?
Oh, okay. So
Sarita came with some stuff today, you guys.
All right. Have you ever thought about what you would want your funeral to be like? Like when you, let's say you're sitting in the back of the place, doesn't have to necessarily be a church or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say you're sitting in the back and you're just looking as an abstract view over everything.
Yeah.
What have you thought about what you want that to look like?
Yeah, I don't want it to be nothing like the traditional funeral for real. I just want it to be like a big party.
A big party.
Yeah, I want it to be a party. Like I don't want people walking around.
People are gonna be sad though. Like everybody always says that. Like I want it to be a big party, but there are gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like if you died tomorrow, there would already be a lot of people that are like, man, Trey really like inspired me or whatever. Yeah. People are gonna be sad.
Yeah. Well, I just want people to know that like, I'm not afraid of death, and I don't look at death as a bad thing. I just look at it as a part of life. So I don't want, and I know it's going to be hard to not miss someone and all that, but at that moment, I just want people to celebrate my life instead of grieving over my death. So, because I don't look at death as a bad thing. I just look at it as a part of life, and whatever happens after that is hopefully better than what we got here.
Okay, so what's the agenda?
What's the agenda?
When we're celebrating Trey's life, like, what are we doing? Are we having like what are we doing? Plan it out.
Well, I don't know where it would be. I mean, that's like telling me to tell you everything, all the specifics of my hypothetical wedding. Like you got to look into a bunch of stuff to see what you would like. And nobody really like plans their death like that.
Nobody does, but point is kind of like maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I've been to so many. Okay, let me retract. I've not been to so many funerals.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to several funerals.
Yeah.
And I always like one of the thoughts that come in my head is like, would I be happy with this?
That's a good idea.
If it were mine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because when you, a lot of times when we die and it's suddenly like people are like, oh, I don't know what he would have wanted. Like, I don't know what she would have wanted.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably just like rent out like, don't put me in no funeral home because it's always like
gloom and doom.
Yeah. And it's like, man, this shit is like depressing. Like rent out a little venue, you know what I'm saying? Have me set up in there. Depending on how I died. If I got mangled in some traffic or something like that, close the casket or cremate me or something like that. But put me in.
Do you want to be buried or do you want to be cremated?
I don't know, man. I don't know because my dad got cremated, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of when you die being put in fire because the first thing that I think of when I think of fire is hell. So I don't want my body to be put in fire after I die. So I don't know. I'd probably be buried. But yeah, just set me up in there, man. And if I'm looking all right, let people see me.
If I'm looking all right.
Let people see me one more time. And everybody in there got to be drinking something. I don't want to hear nobody in there.
Okay, so definitely not a church.
I don't want nobody in there to be talking about, oh, I can't today. Well, when can you? Because I only died once. You know? Everybody's got to be drinking something, just having a good time, man. Just having a good time. Good food, all that shit.
All right. So the next question is, everybody always gives a speech. Okay. So what would you want people to say about you? What do you hope people say about you when it's their time to talk about you?
It's hard to come up with a speech that other people should say about
what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
I just want people to think of me as a selfless person.
Selfless?
Yeah. Selfless, not selfish.
I know.
Yeah, selfless, like I always lended out a helping hand to help people when I could. You know, and yeah, I guess that's the main thing for real.
Okay. So you want to be a helper?
Yeah, just somebody that wanted to help people any way he could and didn't just fucking always look out for himself, I guess.
Okay. It's admirable.
Yeah, what do you want your funeral to be like?
Well, I don't want to be buried.
You want to be cremated?
I want to be cremated.
What's your reasoning for that?
I don't want to like rot in a hole in the ground. Like I don't want my body to decompose and I just imagine like bugs eating my flesh and stuff.
So burning's better?
Yeah, because I want my ashes to be in bracelets or like necklaces on my kids. Like I just want to be with my kids.
You want them sprinkled?
Forever.
You want them sprinkled anywhere? You want any ashes sprinkled anywhere?
In your garden.
In my garden?
Like in Bryson has to have a garden.
Then see, I don't agree with. See, I don't like that. I don't like that because I know it's not going to be like you really are. But it's like I don't know.
Have you ever gotten ashes back?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I got like a locket with my dad ashes in it.
Yeah, but so I got a box back for someone that had been cremated. Wasn't a family member of mine or anything. It was just like somebody I had that lived with my old job and she didn't have anybody else.
Right.
So I picked up her ashes and I was like, this just feels like so. What is this? Yeah. It's in a brown box and like this like big ass vacuum sealed bag. Like this is just, I don't know. I would want something better than that.
Well, they have it now where, and it's actually a company that came out with it because they said like ashes are such an inconvenient way to have somebody's remains because like they can spill, they can do whatever. You know what I mean?
I thought I could like, she was like, do you want me to put it in the urn? I'm like, no, I can do it. And then I was like, no, I can't do this. It's messy.
Yeah, I don't know how. But they came out with a method that they use where they can turn you into pebbles like stones.
Really?
That you can put out in your like garden or whatever like that, or they can make you into like a tree.
Make me into a tree?
Not make you into a tree. Like they give you like this small tree with like you as part of like the roots and stuff, and you can plant it and the tree can grow and the tree's supposed to represent your life and stuff like that.
I kind of like that. Like I want bracelets, necklaces, and maybe I want to be a tree. Yeah,
I just don't want to eat fruits or vegetables that grew because of your ashes though. That's kind of weird.
It's very organic.
That's very weird. You feel very close to somebody eating that celery. Yeah, this celery tastes like my Aunt Stacy.
It's probably really good fertilizer.
Man,
it's like minerals in our bones, right?
Probably. Is.
Yeah. So that's what I would want. I would want to be cremated, and I'm like you. Like I want to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Like
I think now I think about it. I think most people would say that they don't want people sad at their funeral, but
people
never
are going to
turns out
be
that way.
absolutely devastated.
Yeah, it never turns out that way
because people love it's impossible not to be sad.
Yeah, or you could just do it like a wedding, like how the ceremony's serious, so you could do like the grieving part and then have the reception afterwards, where you guys celebrate the life.
I've never been to a funeral that I've wanted to like have well, that's not true. Like, because when my brother died, like I know that he would have wanted that,
right?
So like that definitely was on my mind, but I was just like too messed up to even do that. Right. So I feel like your loved ones are probably going to be like really messed up about it.
Yeah.
But everybody grieves differently. So if you're not that way, no, like it looks different for everybody.
Yeah, and I definitely, I know that for sure. I definitely don't want people arguing about what I would have wanted when I don't want nobody arguing about the inconvenience of my life. Like, here's how I want it. If y'all decide to do it a different way, then whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be mad because you didn't do my funeral right. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I mean, play at the reception part of it where everybody's partying and stuff. Play a little bit of Tupac, Life Goes On. You know what I'm saying? Send me off on my way. I'm on to the next thing. Now, your mom said, walk down memory lane with experiences in life, joy, success, and acknowledgments.
Mom, that is way too vague. Like, what do you want people? Come on, Mom.
You could bring up a lot with that, and it's like, and that's the thing about like these podcasts. You have to come up when somebody asks a question like that or tells you to talk about certain things like that. You have to come up with something off the top of your head when there's so much that you've done in your life.
So much,
and so much that you could talk about.
Like I feel like your brain is almost like kind of foggy.
Yeah,
because you're just.
Mm-hmm.
When people die, it takes your brain a minute to catch on to that, the reality of that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of like when my dad passed away, like I felt kind of guilty because I felt like I should have been more emotional about it, but it was just like my mind wasn't registering it yet.
No, it doesn't.
I mean? So it was kind of like
I can very much relate to that.
Yeah.
Like when I was when we were taken back. There's only 3 of us in the room.
Yeah.
When they said that when they had said that he had died, my reaction was like almost is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
But it was very still and quiet at first, and then I like erupted in this hysterical laugh.
Yeah.
It's never happened to me before. It's never happened to me before.
Yeah, it's different. It's different, man. And it's one of those things that you don't know how you're going to react until it happens, because you don't want to ever think about that stuff ahead of time. So it's like you've never thought about it before that. So when it does happen, I mean, especially in your case, because in your case, it was like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
At least with my dad, like it was over time. I knew eventually this
was he like sick?
Happen. Yeah, he had cancer. So I knew eventually over time this was probably going to happen. You
had some time to like prepare for that possibility.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was just the fact that like I had already like kind of eased my way into it because I knew that was a real possibility at that point.
Yeah.
But as far as your situation where it happens so out of nowhere, that would be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. Like I thought the chaplain and my husband were both looking at me, and like, there was a moment during that time where they're like, if you don't pull it together, I'm going to have to commit you today.
Yeah.
Cause I like would like laugh because in my brain was like, I'm being punked. Like, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. You just don't think it's real.
It's not real. Yeah. So like, I'm laughing cause I'm like, you guys are being so ridiculous. But then I would like burst into tears, but then I would start laughing. Like it was, I've never, ever, ever experienced anything like that.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's wild.
Steven, glad to see you in here, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in for real. So the life insurance policy.
Yeah.
I don't have one. No.
You don't?
No.
You need one. Everybody should get one.
So go ahead and tell us, for people that don't know, the benefits of the life insurance policy.
Well, so there's different kinds of life insurance. Like I have a term life insurance policy. Some people have whole life policy. I have a 30-year term policy. When I got the policy, I think I got it it's been almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
My goal was like just to have something for my husband and my kids if I passed away suddenly.
Yeah.
Like a policy that was enough for me to afford.
Yeah.
But it was enough money. There was enough value in the policy that it would cover the house. Like my kids and my husband would be okay for a while.
Well, see, I know there's a lot of Netflix documentaries where that life insurance policy got a lot to do with why the spouse kills the other spouse.
So they had that in most cases, like they probably have like a whole life policy or something. Yeah. Not all cases, but yeah, you'll see that people like go and they just take out policies on people randomly, and you can do that. Actually, I mean,
that's
I'm not
a good sign you plan to kill them.
No, it's not.
No, I mean like with them where they do it out of nowhere like that. It's like, oh, you had a life insurance
or
policy
they recently,
right before they died. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of lines up. You know,
a lot of times you do be hearing that stuff. But yeah, so we both actually have term policies, and God forbid anything happened to me or my husband, and definitely us together, my kids are going to be very wealthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really the ultimate reason why. But you should. And it's very inexpensive. The younger you get it, the more expensive it typically is. I had it when I was
working out at the prison, but
yeah, you probably did.
Yeah, I think I had it out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they like pushed it onto us because they was like, you might die at this job.
Yeah, you need
There's a good chance something could happen in this job. It's a pretty
and like the one at work. So like I had one at my old job, and it covered like 1.5 times your annual salary or something like that, maybe. But I didn't I paid like dollars for it. Right. It wasn't like something like with our term policies that we get through an insurance broker. We pay monthly for that.
So do you have so how long does that last? Because I mean, if you live to like 85 and then die of natural cause, like is it still into effect, or is that just for like some unplanned event that happens? Like,
it depends on which policy you have. So like I have a 30-year term, so at 30 years I can choose like, do I want to convert to a whole life policy or I don't know. God.
So if you were on a whole life policy and you lived to be 85 and then you passed away, like your kids would get that insurance money from that?
Whoever your beneficiaries are, and then whatever your policy is, minus if you've borrowed against it, that obviously that would need to be that would need to be settled before any monies were given out to your beneficiaries. But like that's what people like whole life policies. You can borrow against them and for cash value and invest or whatever.
Well, it's like a guaranteed way to leave your kids a lot of fucking money. I mean, you're eventually gonna die.
I mean, everybody dies.
Yeah. So it's like Steven said, Trey, can I be your beneficiary? Man. Hey.
Kobe, I mean, you gotta have
I gotta leave something for Kobe, man.
How was Kobe this morning?
Oh, this man.
I saw he got exiled from the veterinarian.
No, he was really good. He was really good today. So Kobe's my dog, for you guys that don't know. I'm sure most of you do. I post him a lot. But took Kobe to the vet today because he had to get his vaccine that he has to get every 3 years, the booster shot or whatever they call it.
I never do those.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. Do not come for me.
They bug me if I don't. So when you gonna set him up with this?
Where do you go?
Edgefield.
Okay.
And took him in. He was real good. Sat beside me on the bench, waited to go in, went in, got his shots, came back out. And then as soon as we walked back out of the office thing, there's like a Huskies just sitting there, and they just fucking instantly make eye contact, and we're trying to pull them to get them back. And they're not like trying to fight. They're trying to play.
Oh.
And it's like, I'm over there trying to pay for what he just got done, and they're taking forever behind the desk, just having a full-blown conversation. And I'm like, bro, my dog is freaking out because this other dog
is he like yapping in a high-pitched voice, excited?
Yeah. So finally I was just like, can I take him out to because I hadn't paid yet. So I didn't know if they would let me take him out to the car, because some people might bounce.
They probably do.
Pay. But then you can't bring your dog back. So I mean, I guess it cancels out. But I was like, can I take him out to the car real quick? Because
I'm coming right back. I swear.
I'm not going to sit here and try to keep him under control while you guys are talking about your life. Yeah. And I put him out in the car, and he was looking at me like, damn.
Right. Oh, punishment.
Put me in the paddy wagon. Your dog got the alien vax. Hey, at least they've had time to test those vaccines they give the dogs. They was trying to give us one that they just threw together real quick.
What?
Yeah, that COVID vaccine.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
They made that shit in 6 months, bro.
I don't do that.
At least my dog's getting the vaccine that's actually been tested. They tried to give us some shit they made in the microwave.
I mean, my dog got kicked out of PetSmart. Like they told her she couldn't come back.
Why?
So because she bit the
She bit who? Another dog?
She bit one of the groomers. She nipped her. She didn't like. I have a pit bull. Like if she wanted to hurt you, she would have hurt you. She didn't even break the skin.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she can't come back. Like she's on the banned list, no trespass list.
That's because that's where I take Kobe for his spa days, and that's messed up because it's like if a dog's not used to doing that, they're going to be nervous.
She doesn't like the blow dryer.
Yeah.
The girl
and you put a loud ass. He don't like it either. You put a loud ass vacuum in a dog's face. What do you expect him to do?
Well, I guess so. Coco was like in the cage. By the way, this is my least favorite dog I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like my least favorite, but she's well taken care of. Don't come for me, you guys. I've had her. She's old. She's like 10. Like stop. She was like in the little cage after she got done, and the girl was changing the water or taking the water out or something. And the lady who called me, who is not the girl that got nipped, said that my dog did warn her before, but she didn't pay attention to the dog, and so she got nipped. So she was like, she really should have been more aware of what the dog was trying to tell her.
Yeah.
But she can't. It's our policy. Like she did nip her, so she can never come back. This was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but are we not going to hold the person responsible that made the dog do it though?
Right.
You can't pay attention to dogs.
But what did you do?
Yeah. Dogs give off real obvious body language if they don't like something that you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And they usually do quite a bit before they actually bite.
Yeah, they do.
So
I've been like, I mean, with the kids and stuff too. Like that's something that. And is Kobe a pit bull?
Yeah.
Type of pit bull?
Yeah.
Terrier or Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah.
So those are very vocal dogs.
Yeah.
Like when they play, they make noise, a lot of it. And so I've had to teach the kids, like when she's licking her lips or when she's looking away or when she's kind of giving you a little grief, you just that's her telling you like she don't have words. These are her words. She don't want you doing that. So stop doing that or else she's going to bite you. And then what, you want me to be mad at the dog?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know the same thing with him too. Like he doesn't do it a lot, but like if he's not feeling what you're doing or he's frustrated or something like that, yeah. He usually just goes over to his bed though and kind of looks at you weird. Like, bro, shit, I'm not on that shit. But so have you noticed an increase in violence towards teachers? Because I've been seeing a lot of videos with it lately.
Man, that's like kind of that's what I'm seeing. But like
it's one of those things like you don't know if it's just because social media that you're seeing it more now.
Right.
I just don't ever remember when I was in school. I don't ever remember kids getting into altercations with teachers like they are now, especially not with cell phones just because we didn't have them.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of times these kids are putting their hands on teachers over cell phones and shit. And in this situation right here that I have to show you, I don't even know what caused this or how it got to this point. But it is crazy though that it got to this point. Oh! So they slapped me once with the video for it.
You think that affected me any? Want me to hit you again? You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? Oh my God.
Wow.
I told your dumb ass I'll knock those dumb ass glass off your face. And do I look like I care? What's wrong with you? What you gonna do? Still sit in that chair? Nigga, you a bitch. My granny, nigga, stop playing with me. Bitch ass. Ain't nobody if it come and you just got slapped. Bitch, go back to teaching. Yo, soft ass.
So that kid's being charged now. I think they said like 3 different misdemeanors. What was your first reaction when you seen it? You seen that?
Dude, I've never seen anything like that.
That's wild. Well, first of all, like watching that video, I couldn't figure out if that was a female teacher or not.
No, that wasn't my thought.
Do you think, because I mean, pay attention, I'll play it back for you again. It's obviously dressed like a female, but I'm not sure if it's an actual female because the voice sounds like a male. So I'm wondering if this is a transgender teacher or something, because just watch, because I'm not sure. That's like the first thing my mind went to.
You think that affected me any? You want me to hit you again?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
You want me to hit you again?
Does it not sound like a guy?
Okay, so that wasn't a thought of mine, but
And do I look like I care? What's wrong with you? What you gonna do? Still sit in that chair?
Well, I'm not trying to justify it or anything like that. I'm obviously not trying to justify it, but I also don't know the background story on it.
that's the first thought that I did have.
I also don't know the background story on it, but and like I said, not trying to say that it's right, but it's not as bad if that is a actual male instead of a female. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing to say. But I'm just saying, because if it is a man, then he didn't go over there and smack a woman like that. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering, like, if that was a transgender teacher, if that had something to do with the whole incident, or
I would need to back up to like the very beginning of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, in any case and in every case, that is just
it's
unacceptable.
Yeah, it's wrong regardless of it being a transgender teacher, being a man, female, whatever it is. Like, that should not.
It should have never happened.
But I am curious to know the background story on it and how it got to that point.
Yes.
Because a lot of these videos, you only ever see that small clip and you don't see the context of why it happened.
100%. And I like teachers, the education system right now is just like, it's the wild, wild west. Teachers are not supported. Admin are not supported. Parents don't feel supported. Students don't. No one feels thrilled with it. And that's a whole nother thing. So what I do say is that I have a lot of appreciation for teachers. I don't know how they do what they do. It takes a special kind of person to be able to make a career out of teaching other people's kids. Like, because there's so many different things that come with that. Mm-hmm. I have seen, though, where teachers, and I have seen it with my own personal experiences,
that happens too,
can pick with kids, or they're being petty with kids, and you can't do that with everybody's kid. So that's why I think I would need to know a lot more about that, because again, that's, I mean, he's wrong.
I've just been seeing a bunch of videos like this, not as bad as that one, but like there was one where a girl's phone got taken away from her, so she pepper sprayed the teacher.
What?
Pepper sprayed the teacher. And it's just like, I don't ever remember it. Like, I remember kids getting mad or talking shit to the teacher, maybe cussing at a teacher.
I've never seen that.
But doing all that over a cell phone at that, like, that's
and
crazy.
I know a lot of teachers now, they won't step into a fight. Like, they're not getting into it. Somebody else is going to have to do it. And I completely understand why you wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember when I was in high school, there were teachers in there like slamming kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, how do you break up like a serious ass fight? Like, your whole goal is to just separate these two kids.
What was the old principal's name out there? He was the wrestling coach at Harding. Because I remember hearing stories about him, like
Coach Mack.
Yeah, Coach Mack.
Yeah,
I remember hearing stories about him like choke slamming people.
He's who I was thinking of, because I've seen like some wild. And we went to Harding, so like it was not unusual that at 7:30 in the morning, like kids were already beefing and squaring up. Before, I mean, I remember I watched a fight happen in the hallway at Harding before first period had ever even started. Twice, I have that memory.
Yeah.
So
they was getting at it early, man. Like, damn, I'm still trying to wake up. Y'all already beefing.
But I remember teachers like getting in it.
Yeah. So that, like I said, I haven't. When I went to school, I didn't see anything like that. So it just seems like it's increasing now, and it's happening more and more. And not only do our teachers forced to deal with stuff like that now, but all the mass shooting stuff that they got working on, like the security in schools is so much.
I just text Jared Slater. Did you see his post on Facebook? He I guess it turned out to be just a hoax, but there was they thought there was a call and that there was a shooter, and he's teaching and coaching at Finley High School right now. Which, shout out to Jared and Aaron Slater. He like texted his wife like, shooter, or I don't remember exactly what he said, but like, gun in the building, I love you. And so she got that text.
Whoa.
Like, what the hell, and then it turned out that it wasn't, the police came and the responders responded the way that they would if it was real, but through the investigation, they found out it wasn't. But just like crazy that to think that it could happen that fast, like something like that.
Yeah,
and
just
then
imagine like Bryson being a teacher or something, and you getting a text from him like active shooter in the building, and then nothing else after that.
Yeah, because I was reading Aaron's caption, and I know that my husband would be the same. Like his priority in that moment would be like, all right, I got to protect my kids, these students, my kids, by any means necessary. So I know that in that situation where Bryson was tasked with like saving himself or saving some kids, he's going to save some kids. So I might as well like say goodbye.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me if somebody that I love texts me that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm probably going up there with locked and loaded.
That like as a parent, like that's the thing that like I understand schools have that and you don't know who the shooter is. Like so if I'm some random parents like, no, my kid's in that building, like I'm going to get my kids. They don't know that you're not the shooter in that high intense moment. So don't do that. But as a parent, like, oh, I'm going to get my kids.
Oh yeah.
Like
well, there was a situation where there was an active shooter in the school and the police refused to go in. Like they're sitting there with assault rifles and shit. And they had the one security camera on the one police officer, and he's on his phone, and he's got a Punisher background on his phone. It's like, oh, so this dude obviously thinks he's a hard ass until it comes time to actually do some shit and save some kids, and then you don't want to get involved.
Yeah, and I don't even know like what's the plan?
Yeah,
when that happens.
If I show up to the school where my kid's at, and there's an active shooter in there, and the police are standing outside with rifles. And they're trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have it figured out, I got to figure it out. I know what I'm going in to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to exterminate this motherfucker. That's what's happening. I don't know why we have to do all this. Why you guys are out here strategizing? These kids are getting shot.
Yeah.
Every second you waste. So I'm locked and loaded. I'm going in. And if you try to stop me, then what sense does that make? You know,
like Marion's an interesting community in that way because I could see like Marion just being like, forget that. Like we going in there.
Oh yeah. there's enough parents.
There's enough people in this town that are willing to like risk it all.
Because if I show up with my guns and I'm ready to go inside, what sense does it make for you as a police officer to stop me from going inside? I'm obviously not going inside to help the dude shoot more people. And I've already decided that I'm willing to put my life on the line. So let me go in.
Yeah, I don't.
My kid is in there. If you ain't going to do nothing, how do you expect me to just stand out here knowing he's in there with somebody shooting everybody else?
Heaven forbid it never happens like in this town with our kids, with my kids, because I don't know how you control yourself.
I will say from what I've heard from parents about Harding is they do a good job at keeping it locked down and not letting people in.
I've been so pissed because I like forgot to bring my ID and I'm like, I've come here so many times to check my kid out, but they don't care.
Yeah. Which is like, it's an inconvenient thing, but at the same time,
I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, you're glad they do it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about what social media has turned people into, like the things that people will do now to try to go viral or just get a few likes. This might or might not be live footage of you at Starbucks. You let me know. But this is just something that I've seen, and it's like, man, it's just insane how wild people will act just to go viral. And she probably did go viral because I found her and I'm putting her on here. So
I got Star. I don't even like coffee, but I guess I'll try it. Delicious. Now let's see what goodies await me in here. Ooh, a cake globe. Wait, cake pop. It appears to be a perfect sphere. Nice. It kind of looks like a turd.
What is she doing?
First bite incoming. Delicious. Yep, this is Nums. Activate happy
look
dance.
at Sarita's face.
Just like, look at Miss Rachel.
What the fuck, man?
Couldn't be me. I can't relate. I mean, she's probably making so much money too. I should probably just shut up because
there's that one girl got rich because she was acting like a fucking robot. She was just in a chat with people and they were donating, they were sending her money. She was like, thank you. And she just kept doing that shit. Now she's like super famous.
That's like one of those things where it's like, who's all right? So who is the dummy here? Is it me? Because I'm not doing it and making that kind of money, or is it?
Yeah. Hey, I'm not. That's if you do that, I feel like that's what they're talking about when they say you sold your soul to get rich.
I was thinking that.
Yeah,
I was thinking that.
I'm not going to do that. I'm
not doing it.
Hey, I'm not that worried about getting rich.
I'm not doing it.
If I got to do that, and that's not who I am at all, I'm not doing it.
I might do an OnlyFans before I do that.
That shit made me disgusted to see. It's just that's what I'm talking about. Like people just doing shit like that. And I've seen, and it's just the social media culture, like some of the things people would do
everything.
now. Like there was literally a video I see, and I didn't want to show it on here because I don't want to give the dude any exposure. There was a video that I seen where dude went over to a homeless man and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he was like, "Are you hungry?" And the dude was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, what do you want? Like a Baconator and something to drink?" And dude was like, "Yeah." He goes inside, gets all the food, comes out, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I just hope you really enjoy this." And he starts eating it in front of him.
What?
Yeah, he starts eating it all in front of him, bro. And the homeless dude's just like, "No, you could have not just even did that."
Yeah, I'm sitting here minding my business.
So it's like you're just being completely evil to get some views, you know what I mean, or get some likes. And it's like that's what I think of when I think of them saying you sold your soul to get rich,
yeah,
you know.
People will do anything.
Yeah, it's sick. You see, I've seen videos of this dude out in the middle of traffic just getting out the car and just randomly kicking cars and sitting on cars, and it's just like, why, man? Is it that serious?
Just dance in the middle of traffic like some people do. Like you don't have to hurt nobody.
There's
you
a
don't have to mess
less
with people.
Yeah, there's a less violent way to go viral.
Right, exactly.
And I'm sure you'll go viral, like you said, dancing in traffic because everybody's gonna want to record that. Yes. I'm not gonna record you kicking my car though.
No, we ain't gonna be recording.
No, I might do that. I might do it for a second to give it to the
right.
cops.
Make sure that they know why I did what I'm about to do.
Yeah, and then I'm kicking. You know. So hey, appreciate you guys tuning in, man. We're going for an hour and 6 minutes now. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Morning Brew podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Charged Up podcast and the Morning Brew podcast.
Yes.
Make sure you share it to your social media platforms because that's what gets the word out.
Yes.
That's what grows this community.
We need to do like a giveaway.
Yeah, we do. What would we give away though?
What?
I need to get us some morning brew gear.
We need more. We got to go over to Finding Center. They have trucker hats.
Okay.
You can make them.
Yeah, get some Morning Brew.
You sound
hats.
really excited about that. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, we can do it. We can get some hats.
Tell us what you guys think would be some good giveaways for sharing our stuff. And like, don't say silly shit. Like we're not buying a Cadillac or whatever. Like stuff that's
realistic shit.
Realistic stuff.
Realistic shit for realistic people.
So tell us what would be some good giveaways.
Unless we get Sarita's insurance policy.
Okay. Bryson's insurance policy.
Yeah.
I want to live.
She want to see the fruits of her labor.
Right. And what are some things that you guys want us to talk about? Is there some things that you guys are curious what our take on it would be?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
Topics, opinions, all that. Bring it to us and let us know. But we do want to get the one thing that we definitely have to get for the Morning Brew because of it being a coffee oriented type show in the morning. Or we need to get the coffee mugs.
For sure.
The Morning Brew coffee mugs.
Do we have a logo?
Yeah,
I mean that?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you want it to be?
I don't know.
It's the Morning Brew and the O and morning is a coffee bean.
Send it to me. I'll get the mugs.
I thought I sent you like a mock-up of the mugs.
No, you don't send me anything.
I just sent you a picture of the podcast and the mobile setup this morning.
Oh yes, he did. He did do that.
And she didn't even look at it until she got here, which was 15 minutes late.
I was driving safely and I was here on time. I was here. Well, what's that? If you're not early.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, if you're on time, you're late.
Whatever. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're fired. You're fired. You can't fire somebody that you ain't paying though.
Bloop.
All right, you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in on Monday. I'll be back on here. I'll probably get Shaq on either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because I know he was trying to come on.
Where's Shaq this morning?
He had to work.
What days doesn't he work?
It changes every week.
Oh.
I know he always has Sundays off, but other than that, it changes every week.
I'll be at the ballpark.
We'll try to get Shaq on here, man. Might go live on the Charged Up podcast tonight, but appreciate you guys tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your morning and enjoy your weekend.
All right, y'all.